In Matthew 25, Jesus tells us that when we feed the hungry, we're feeding Him. When we clothe the naked, we're clothing Jesus. And when we visit those in prison, it's as if we visited Christ. What we do for the least of these, we do for Jesus. My name is Mark Taylor, and I've been a member at Sycamore View for 35 years. I had the honor of being on staff for 18. Though I've been blessed to serve many ministries at Sycamore View, one of the ways I got connected early on was by going into the prisons. Not as a resident, though some of you may think that, but really as a volunteer. It's a ministry that taught me a lot about Jesus, people, and life. There was a vibrant prison ministry at church from 1985 to 2020. When COVID hit, it put an end to our involvement in correction facilities as we knew it. But the stories still linger, and one day, God may open those prison doors again. In 1985, there was an associate minister on staff named Don Stevens. Some people say that he and I were a lot alike. I don't know if that was a compliment to him or me, but apparently he and I shared the same love for people. I never got to know Don. He passed away before I came to Sycamore View as a member in 1990. But people shared countless stories of Don's ability to connect with others. In 1985, Don hosted a neighborhood picnic. One of Don's new neighbors was the warden of the Federal Correction Institute off of Sycamore View. The warden invited Don to come to volunteer his time by hosting Bible studies with inmates. Don did not hesitate. He pulled together a group of volunteers, and in partnership with Great Oaks Church of Christ, a prison ministry was born, all over a hot dog. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, volunteers walked into the facilities to host Bible studies with the purpose of helping them see Jesus. At no point does God give up on His people. I'm glad God never gave up on me and you. Some say that the only difference between those of us who have never served time behind bars and those who have is circumstances. It's really that simple. One of the first men Don Stevens recruited to serve in prison ministry was a then young man by the name of Stoney Ramsey. Stoney served in the prison ministry from 1986 until it came to an end in 2020. God has used many others along the way. Andrew Crocker was our first prison minister. He used others as the prison ministry grew. Eunice Harris was our first prison ministry assistant, followed by Christy Hartman, and then Carolyn Harris in 2005, who served faithfully for 15 years. Carolyn, we love you. Thank you for all that you did to help us all connect to Jesus in deeper ways. Over 100 Sycamore View members have volunteered in prison ministry over the years. Some on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and others became a part of Sunday morning groups and even online Bible courses. Over the years, we spent time at FCI, 201 Poplar, Mark Luttrell Facility, Jail East, Northwest Tennessee and Tiptonville, medium and maximum security, Federal Prison Camp in Millington, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a few. In 1994, the Sycamore View Church hosted the National Prison Workshop. We heard from ministers and volunteers from all over the country. Some of the most powerful speakers to me were former inmates themselves. We had the opportunity to hear from Roy Ratcliffe, who studied with and baptized Jeffrey Dahmer. God just kept opening doors. We kept walking through them. Over the years, we saw God open eyes, change hearts, and renew faith. We got to see firsthand how lives were changed. And I'm not just talking about the inmates. God changed all of us along the way. Those inmates were not just projects or a number. They had names, faces, families, and stories. They became our family. Murderers, arsonists, and drug lords asked me about how my boys were doing as they learned through me about their art, wrestling, football, and them growing up. I'll never forget people like Thomas Duncan, The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, Ronnie O, Mr. C, and Lloyd. Speaking of Lloyd, he and his family built barges on the Gulf Coast. Lloyd made secret compartments to ship tons of drugs. He asked me one Sunday, I kind of blew it, didn't I? I found out later that Lloyd always made sure that someone was watching out for me on the compound. He was my bodyguard. I miss Lloyd. We had so many stories. The inmates had no idea how they were changing us. When I went home, I always hugged Stephanie and the boys because I could. I learned that in prison. We are a part of a story that God is still writing, and I'm honored to be a part of it. If He can use a hot dog, He can use all of us.